It's been a decade since the initial terrorist attacks in New York City, attacks that killed 5 West Michigan natives. A friend of one of those killed spoke with 24-Hour News 8 Today. Danny Carlson joining us now with more on that story of loss and healing.
Oh, that's right. Roger Cornelius had a hard time keeping his emotions inside today when he was telling me about his friend Bradley Hoorn. He says Hoorn's tragic death caused a void in his family and friends, and that they feel every day. But he says they feel it especially on this day.
We hugged and he talked with me, and it was just so marvelous and moving that a former student would come over and spend time with a former teacher and coach when he was so busy getting ready for New York. And that's the way Brad was.
Bradley V. Hoorn.
This was one of our own from Richland on his way to New York, and we were all so proud of him.
Roger Cornelius remembers the last time he saw Bradley Hoorn in August 2001. He says Hoorn was so excited to start his new job at the World Trade Center that he could actually hear it in his voice and see it in his face.
And he was destined for greatness.
22-year-old Hoorn was at his investment firm job in the North Tower's 93rd floor that morning.
It was at least several days before I found out about Brad, and it was a shock, and I and most of us just wept and wept.
Even 10 years later, Cornelius has a hard time holding back those tears when he remembers the young man he coached in tennis, taught in school, and later came to think of as a friend.
The hurt for a loss this enormous comes and goes. It's somewhat like the tide.
Even though the pain never quite goes away, Cornelius says he knows the vibrant young man he knew wouldn't want people to focus on the tragedy of his death, but rather live each day to the fullest.
I think he would want us to be strong, courageous, to love one another, and to keep moving on.
There is a fund that was started to honor Hoorn. It's called the Brad Hoorn Memorial Endowment Fund, and it's a part of the Kalamazoo Community Foundation. We will have that link to that foundation on our website, woodtv.com. Larry?